Yeah. Did you, Fabio? Because Fabio... Okay, so I think we're ready to rock and roll here at the Monster Energy British Grand Prix. So back on the top step after an incredible race for everyone watching and an incredible race for him. Aleix Espargaro from Aprilia Racing making a little bit more Noali history here at this venue. And second place after leading so many of those laps, our reigning champion and championship leader, Pecco Bagnaia from Ducati Lenovo team. And after fighting it out late on there, Brad Binder back on the podium, putting to bed those Assen woes in doing so for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Well, like I said, guys, for us watching, it was an incredible race. And Aleix, it's an incredible win for you. I think looking at Aprilia in testing, you seem so strong. In Argentina on Friday, you had so much expectation on you. Then there's just been a little bit of bad luck, some issues along the way, back on the top step today, and in almost perfect style. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. I'm very happy to be back on top. You know, maybe, yeah, at the beginning of the season, the expectation was too high on myself, on the team. So I made too many mistakes. I crashed in Argentina, I crashed in America. I lose a lot of points, you know. I had good speed, many Fridays, many sessions on the dry. I was very close to Pecco, leading, but it doesn't matter. You have to be fast on Sunday. So for one reason or another, I was not able really to match my speed with the results. And obviously we don't have the points that I think we deserve, but yeah, I was fast here on Friday. Yesterday, unfortunately, was a wet race with a wet tire, but I was quite happy about my performance on the, let's say, wet, even if it was not super wet. But today, yeah, I was super commitment. I knew I had good pace, good opportunity in front of me. I was, yeah, no pressure, but starting from P12 because I knew race was long and this track is not difficult to overtake. So I'm very happy.
Well, like you said, starting P12, I think you're the winner from the lowest grid position in the dry, in a fully dry race, as it kind of officially ended up being, since Marco Melandri in Turkey 2006. So it's quite a while. Everyone always says that grid position is so important in MotoGP. Is it the venue here at Silverstone where there's some different lines, it's easier to overtake? Is it the pure pace? Today you were able to just bring that extra out, or was it those conditions and you guys just having that bit extra at the end when it was a little bit sketchy?
I think it's a mix. I mean, a couple of things. I was very strong on Friday on the dry, and I proved today. The conditions with very cold temperatures helped that the front pressure didn't really rise up a lot, and also Silverstone is a very wide track, so it's quite easy, you know, to overtake. So it was a mix of things. Anyway, the risk of starting in P12 is always high. I did a good start because Aprilia is working very hard on the clutch, on the start system, and on this race I had some new items to try, and it helped me a lot. So help also from Aprilia was very good, and yeah, good race.
It was. You seemed very relaxed about it. It was an amazing race. Pecco, it was from you as well. It might not have been another win, but in your position with Marco crashing out, a tougher race for Jorge Martin, you had a big chance today and you still kept that pressure in the lead. What were you thinking? What was your approach? Was it more conservative or just see if you can get that win?
I was just pushing, trying to win.
It looked like it.
In the same moment, I will stop to push and I will be happy about the second position. For sure, it's the moment I have to consider again everything. But sincerely, happy with the result finally, because yesterday we lost a lot of points, and we know that our potential in every condition have to be this one. So happy with the summary of the weekend. But today I tried. I just pushed at the start, but we had to start with the soft front tires for the conditions. But maybe it wasn't the good choice in that moment. Then when it started to rain, I was just a bit scary. In the last sector was very slippery. Turn 15, I wasn't understanding the limit that I was able to push on the tires and on the track. So I was just trying to control, and I was seeing and hearing that Aleix was very close to me. So I was understanding that he was trying in the last laps to overtake, considering the potential of Aleix in this track and the traction that Aprilia has. So I was prepared. I just tried to respond to his attack, but I wasn't enough, and he deserved to win today.
Well, he did do an incredible job. But how aware are you on the bike? Obviously, you were leading when those first spots of rain came out as well. I guess you're already aware that Marco's disappeared from behind you before the rain as well. How aware are you in the lead of the race with these guys? We saw Miguel Oliveira on an incredible charge. Brad then suddenly was like, this is my time to shine, which I'll ask you about in a second. There's so much happening. How much are you aware of on the bike, and how did that affect your decisions of push, wait, let someone else be the guinea pig?
In the moment you are leading, when it starts to rain, is very critical, because it's more difficult to understand how to push, where to push, in which way you have to push. So I was just trying to understanding better the situation, and every time I was consider that I didn't push it in the best way, because considering that Miguel was 1 second faster, 1.5 seconds faster every laps, is because he was understanding better this limit. So maybe it's something I have to improve, something I have to understand. But in any case, for today, I'm happy. For sure, for the championship, is the moment in this year that I have the more amount of points from the second, and we have to continue like this.
Well, congratulations on an amazing race under pressure. And Brad, so when that rain came down, I don't know if you were also thinking of that win in Austria. With the amount of laps left, would it pay off if it came down really heavily? Would it not? But in the end, we saw again a bit of magic from you. You're able to catch back up to the fight and get another podium this season. Are you happy with that? And what were you thinking in those conditions?
Well, it was a little bit more sketchy because the rain started to fall with 7 laps to go. So, you know, if it really started to rain, it would have obviously paid off a lot. But at the end of the day, I think it was just who was willing to take the risk at the time, because it was almost like a yo-yo. You know, someone would go, then they would come back, and it was really hard to understand how hard you could push or how wet the track was. I think we're really fortunate that it was the last sector and a little bit in the first that was a bit damp. Other than that, you know, you could pretty much rail it. So, yeah, it was awesome to get another podium today. I really wanted to win after my 2 mistakes in Assen. I feel like my team deserved it. But at the end of the day, it's great to be here again. The 2 guys in front of me did a fantastic job. It's not easy to manage these difficult conditions and understand how hard you can push, especially when you're the guy in first. You're almost the guinea pig. So, yeah, cool day for us. Thank you so much to my team. My bike was so much better than Friday in the race, and I had a great time.
Had a great time. Love that sign off. Well, next up as well, of course, it's KTM's home race. And after you did have that little bit, I mean, it wasn't heartbreak by any means. You got some really good points from the race in Assen, but Aleix did steal that podium from you with one of them. And obviously today, back on the podium, and we've also got Aprilia, Ducati and KTM right in that fight for victory. That must make you very happy as we head into the second half of the season. What do you think is coming now over the next few? Do you think you're in a good place?
I'm really happy with the way everything's been going lately. I mean, clearly my team's done a fantastic job. Our bike's super competitive. And yeah, I think well, we already saw on Friday. In the full dry, I was competitive. Every exit, I was able to go fast and be amongst the top there. So when I saw it was going to be dry today, I had a lot of confidence. And I wanted to go and put together a great result. And of course, third's good, but I wanted more, as always. And yeah, let's see what the next one brings.
Okay, thanks very much, guys. That's all from me. Let's see if we've got any questions from the press. Okay, then we'll start with BT.
Thank you. BT Sport Bikes Inc. magazine. A two-part question, one to Alicia, one to Pecco. Alicia, congratulations on the victory. Do you feel now like you've been through a lot? Like last year, you had your first victory, and then you had, some setbacks here and there. Now that you've gone through those and you got the victory here, what do you think you have to do now with the second part of the season and the races coming fast and furious? What do you think you have to do to maintain that consistency to come up the standings and make a push for the championship? I mean, like I said, you've had a great run. You have a great team, a great bike, so you can hang with the Ducatis. What do you think you have to do to maintain that consistency and rise up in the standings? And the second part is to Pecco. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the season, my target was maybe too high. I was too optimistic. So I made many mistakes, crashing and not doing good qualifyings. So from now on, my target is, I feel actually more relaxed. I mean, I just won, but it's okay. I mean, it's racing. Last year, everything was new for me. It was the first time that I was on the podium, that I won, that I was fighting for the title. So this year, I feel more prepared, more ready. So it's not going to be easy, because Pecco has a lot of advantage. He's doing an amazing job. But top 3 in the championship, I think is possible. So, race by race, trying to enjoy life, trying to have some fun. And, don't put super high pressure, because then is when you make the mistakes. Just trying to maintain the foot on the ground. We have good pace, we have good speed. So, yeah, keep going.
Thank you. And the second part, to Pecco. Pecco, it seems like you're having a great year, the last 2 years, obviously. But it seems like the storyline is always somebody else. It's always like, who's going where with the silly season, who's going to be on what team. And you just consistently maintain your top 1 or 2, and you run, you're leading the championship. It's going to take a while for somebody to overtake you. Do you feel like you're being slighted just a little bit? But do you like that? Maybe like not being in the spotlight per se?
For sure, it takes time to understand how to be constant in this category, because compare Moto2, that is the category where I feel it better. The tires are different. You're 3 tires for the front, then you have more tires for the rear. Moto2, you have just one choice. You're having MotoGP and you start crashing. I started to crash a lot. I'm continuing crashing because easily. The first part of the season, I crashed 3 times, 2 for my mistakes, 1 for a touch. But sincerely, I started trying to understand, trying to pushing in the correct way. That is not easy with MotoGP, because sincerely, the front tire is very you have to do it in a way. You can't do aggressive maneuver. You can't do things when you are braking. So before understanding that, I needed more time compared maybe Quartararo or other riders that as soon as they started the season in MotoGP, they were competitive. I needed more time, but right now I work a lot with my team at home and here to understand, to improve myself, and now the consistency is there. When everything is okay, we know that we can fight for the top positions, and this is something that right now for me is the only goal. I want to work well during the weekend to the maximum result possible, and another weekend we make it, so happy with it.
Yeah, hi, Adam Wheeler, just writing for The Telegraph. 2 quick ones for Aleš and 1 for Brad. Aleš, you mentioned you wanted more stability in turning from the bike. It seems to work well for you today. Is this like a bit of a turning point, do you think, on the technical side, maybe for the rest of the season? And can you also explain about the move on the last lap? I mean, how risky was it?
Yeah, from Friday when I start to test the new fairing and the new front end of the bike, I felt that I can close the corner better. So then I was able to prepare the pickup a little bit earlier. Actually, to do the pickup and the acceleration phase is one of my still the points that I have to improve the most. Maverick is always better on the pickup phase. So I improved a lot during this weekend with the new fairing, and I think was the key. I had a lot of traction because I was able to pick up the bike much better than in the past. In the past I accelerate super lean. So this has been a very important upgrade. And yeah, hopefully we can keep going, keep improving the bike, and for the future also in Austria, look like Aprilia brings more new things to test. The bike is very competitive, but still not the best bike. So hopefully we can one day arrive to be the reference bike of the grid.
And the move on the last lap?
Yeah, so my plan, I was a lot faster in corner 2 and 3. So my plan was to overtake Pecco in 2 and 3. But then in corner 2, preparing on the outside of Pecco, I did a high side. I was very close to crash, and I lose ground. So then I was focused on trying to recover on him. And in the last corner of last year's circuit, Pecco has a lot less traction than me, so I gained a lot of time there. And I knew that in the next one, if in the first ride he loses traction, in the second one with more temperature on the right tire, he will have even less acceleration. So I was super commitment. I brake very, very late. I go on the outside and I accelerate better than him. Today, he did a really good job because it was very difficult, you know, to open track with the wet when the rain arrived. And then I have better traction than him, so I have some advantage in the last lap.
And just quickly for Brad, after Austria and here, can you just try and explain to all of us how it's possible to do what you do with slick tires on a wet track? I mean, how on earth is it possible?
There's nothing fun about it, but you just kind of got to roll and see what happens. And yeah, today, to be honest, I think these two, they like could disappear and then I'd catch up again, because you just kind of, it's more or less how much risk you're willing to take, because you don't really know. And yeah, today was really sketchy, hard to understand lap by lap. But anyway, I think it was good fun and I'm happy to be done.
Two questions for Aleix. First of all, going back to the overtake and so on, you were following Pecco for quite a while, very close to him. And I assume that when you're on the brakes, trying to catch or pass, it's very difficult because of the draft from the bike in front, the air stop and everything. Would that be correct?
Yes, exactly. We had, on my point of view, too many things to do while we ride. I had the number of laps, if I'm inside or not, for the tire pressure. I have also the temperature of the tires. You have many devices. You want also to be aware where is the rain, where the track is slippery or not. I was also focused on where I was stronger than Pecco or not to overtake him. So the last 3 laps I was like in my world, super focused. And again, today I had better traction than Pecco, and on the brakes for me, it was very strange, because it was, I think it's the first time in my career that I raced with the P front tire. But the P front tire, maybe because the track temperature, the wind, very cold, but it was like a hard tire. I was able to brake super late. So today, yeah, I have really good bike.
Okay, second question, kind of boring tire pressure question. Going back to last year, talking about pressure, if you run slightly under the limit, that's the limit now, do you get more performance from the pressure, from the Aprilia? Some bikes if you run slightly low.
There is a limit. I've been very low in some races, but if you are a lot lower, also the bike is not turning. You feel like flat tire, a lot of movement. But yes, the perfect pressure for Aprilia will be under the limit of Dorna.
1.7, 1.8, something like that.
Under.
Oh, yeah, okay, thank you.
Giovanni Zamagni, MotoGP from Italy. I have a question for you, Aleix. 3 Aprilia in top 5. Why Aprilia is so fast in this circuit?
It's a circuit where you don't put all the weight immediately in the acceleration. So it's more about the traction and the grip. You are limited, the amount of power you put on track is limited by the grip. And the Aprilia is good on traction, is good on grip. So in circuits like Qatar, like Argentina, Silverstone, the bike works very good. And I'm very happy. But even in other tracks, we've been very competitive. But sometimes if you don't start on front, in Le Mans Maverick was very fast and he crashed. In Argentina it rains. So I think I don't like to talk about luck, because there is no luck in a championship of 21 races. But we didn't really show our performance. Obviously, still a lot of work to do, but the bike is competitive, and I'm very happy for Aprilia today to put 3 bikes in top 5, 4 bikes in top 10. This is fantastic.
Imre Pavlovic from Motorsport Aktuell and Motorrad from Germany. A question to Aleix. So Aleix, can you describe the feeling you had when you could take your twins into your arms after the victory, and will this victory have any effects on your further future?
Today I was not super happy when I crossed the checkered flag. I was obviously happy to win, but I did the podiums last year, and also in Assen I won last year, and today I was super focused. The last part of the race with the rain was very demanding mentally, so I was just like relaxed, you know. But when I arrived in Parc Fermé and I saw the kids, it was fantastic because it's the first victory with them. And this morning Max said to me, "Daddy, please try to be in the front group, because if you are not on the front group, I cannot see you on the TV." So I said to him, "I don't know if I will be able to win or not, but I think I have pace enough to be in the front group, so don't worry, son, you will see your daddy on front."
Hi guys, Lewis Duncan from Autosport. I've got two questions. First one for you, Aleix. Obviously this is now your second win. Does this one feel a bit more special because you've proved that, you know, the first one wasn't just a one-off? You're a race winner. You can fight for race wins regularly.
Yes, but you know what makes me very happy is also, I know it's not important, but for the rider feeling, you know, what I did on Friday to be super fast, what I did also in other Fridays this year in some session in dry, I feel that I'm in a very, very high level riding, and this is the most important thing, you know. Win, yes, it's fantastic. I'm very happy about the victory for sure, but I think that I was able to fight for the victories this year in other circuits. So this is what makes me very, very happy and motivate me to keep going. It's quite strange, my situation, because, you know, I turned last week 34 years old, and I feel that I'm riding better than ever. So hopefully I can extend this feeling for a couple of more seasons.
Thanks, Aleix. Well done. And to you, Pecco, do you feel like that race was maybe the biggest challenge you've faced this season in terms of, you know, your championship defense? Because we saw in Argentina in wet conditions when you were riding well, you crashed, and obviously at points last year when you were riding well, you made mistakes. Did you feel like there was quite a lot of pressure there to prove a point that you can soak up pressure in these situations? Thank you.
Yeah, for sure the most difficult part of the weekend is the race, because it's the ones gives you points. So I'm not thinking ever that I have to demonstrate to someone our potential, because I know perfectly what I can do, what my team can do, what Ducati can do. So I'm just trying to work well, to prepare perfectly the race, and don't have surprise during the race. And this is something that this year have changed compared to last year. We are working more during the session to have a great feeling in the race. And sometimes if you see the positions in the practice, you can see that I'm not in the front, I'm a bit behind, but I'm working always with used tires to be in the front in the race. So it's something that I prefer. It's something that gives to me more motivation, more concentration to start the race. And it wasn't easy today, sincerely, because yesterday was a full day of wet. So starting the race without the feeling, the fresh feeling of dry, wasn't easy. But it motivated me to push and push and push. So I think that if you're focused, if you are concentrated, you can leave all the other things behind. So it's the most important thing.
Hello, gentlemen. This is Frank Wegen from Ziggo Sport in the Netherlands. I have a question for Aleix and one for Brad. Aleix, first of all, this morning we saw in warm-up a small incident. It looked like there was a misunderstanding between you and Maverick's crew when you went into the pits and they wanted to get out. I don't know what happened, but you looked a little bit irritated. Could you explain why that was? And my other question is also to you, following up on what happened last year in Argentina. It looked like today it was a more mature win than last year. It looked like you were, let's say, more nervous last year, making mistakes every now and then. And this, it looked like you were really waiting for your chance. Do I see that correctly? Would you agree with me?
Yeah, no, this morning was because I started on the rain tire and I came into the pits to change the bike to practice start, and I saw that Maverick was going out with the slicks, and I said to him and to his crew chief, track is not ready, it's very cold and it's still damp, don't go out with the slicks. And then Maverick looked to myself and said, no, I'm just going to practice start. And I said, okay, if you go to practice start, okay, but I mean, just careful, because with the slicks, you crashed this morning. So it was just information for my teammate. And the second one, obviously, I said before, you know, my career has been very strange, very, very strange, unique, I will say, because last year it was the first time that I was constantly fighting on top. I won my first race. Obviously, I was very nervous in Argentina. I didn't sleep the night before of Argentina race. But this year is different. I know you have to learn of everything, what happened during your life. It's still strange for me, you know, to fight for victories, for podiums in MotoGP, because it's not as if you don't did before in Moto2 and Moto3. These two guys won many races in the small classes. I didn't. But obviously I try to learn fast, because also I'm in the last part of my career, and hopefully I can still learn more and win more.
Thank you. One question to you, Brad, because directly after the start, you were involved in an incident with Jorge Martin. Was your bike damaged at all, or were you close to crashing? It looked like you were almost also out of the track, just like Jorge.
Yeah, it was really, really close. I'm sorry to Jorge because he went quite wide, even more than I did. I literally turned into turn one and I got sandwiched in between the two bikes. So I had nowhere to go, and I had a touch from both sides. I was in the middle of Marini and in the middle of Jorge. So yeah, a little bit sketchy. I'm glad we all got away from that one. I did see some parts fly off my bike. Not too sure what I lost. I didn't quite have time to look, but anyway, it was shaking a bit, so probably a little bit of damage somewhere.
Okay, so that's all the questions. Very eager to go and celebrate, and rightly so. Please enjoy your Prosecco and see you in Austria.